Alrighty, and we are live. So, welcome to today's Tuesday Talk. We have a special edition of Tuesday Talk on a Friday. This will air again on the upcoming Tuesday. So we have Mama Baina Bello, who is here today. She is an amazing, extraordinary woman, and we are here to have a treat for you today. So I'm just going to read some of her biography. Professor Baina Bello is a Vodou African Afro-descendant historian, educator, writer, and humanitarian. With over 50 years of wisdom and extensive research, Professor Bello specializes in Haitian, artistry, and linguistics. She has taught in many parts of Africa, Haiti, and America, from the primary to the university level, including the State University of Haiti. She is the founder of Fondation Félicité, popularly known as Fondation Félicité, named after the Empress Consort of Haiti and wife of the revolutionary leader and founder of Haiti, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Emperor First of Haiti. As an author, she publishes in Haitian, English, and French. Her latest work, She Rose of the Haitian Revolution, highlights the lives of 10 women in the Haitian artistry who played a significant role in the nation's journey to freedom. Professor Bello is based in Haiti and serves as advisor to key eldership councils. Today, Professor Bello concentrates her energy on the advancement of the Fondation Félicité while presenting and teaching in various parts of the world on our story. Our story. Located in Tabar, Haiti, Fondation Félicité aims to rebuild identity via historical research and in-depth analysis of cultural principles, pillars, and traditions. Fondation Félicité has been in operation since 2000, working with all those affected by the Ma'afa. The foundation provides a number of community initiatives that empower its students, volunteers, centennials who are elders of 100 plus years, as well as young leaders and families. The ultimate goal of this foundation is to provide people of Haiti with tools with which to build their inner self and their country. Baina Bello is the mother of 4, grandmother of 9, and a great-grandmother of 3 divine great-grandchildren, 2 powerful girls, and a marvelous boy. Welcome, Mama Bello. So nice to have you here with us today.
Thank you very much. And greetings to you, greetings to all of those who may be following.
Great, yes. So I want to just jump right into this. I'm a priestess in the Shrine of Ma'at, and we practice Kemetic spirituality. But we all know that, or at least hopefully people will learn today, that African spirituality is generally the same concept throughout the continent. So what is African spirituality, and how did it change, or how did the iteration present itself, differently through our transatlantic enslavement trade?
What is African spirituality? Every time I hear this question, something in me shivers, my soul shivers, because I know that in our present Euro Christian mindset, we're looking at spirituality as something separate from the rest of our lives. And right there, we go off. We are not on the road. Spirituality is not something that we do on Saturday, on Monday, or Wednesday, or whatever day or hour. It is the essence of our being, of our existence. When our soul chose to dress up in a body, to do a finite experience on earth, that soul had been living for all those, I don't know, thousands, millions of years. But it chose at some point to come and dress up in what we call baina, this thing here, this blood, skin, and bone entity. It's just a dress of my soul. But my soul has been alive. I'm 72 or 73. 73. I'm 73 years old. So the body is 73 years old. But the soul has been around for much longer. And the more the soul can connect to the knowledge of past experiences, the more that person in this body will seem to know. So, and that is what spirituality does. Spirituality gives you the means to travel to your various life, collect data so you can know what is necessary to progress in the time space that you are in a body. So 73 is the body's age now. For a minute there, I wasn't sure, but it is 73.
72.
1948 to 21, that's 73. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So, uh,
Oh, 72.
so spirituality is the vehicle that we use to collect data, information, knowledge, and to guide us toward accomplishing our missions because we don't come here for no reason. Every living form is present in a time space for a specific reason. So, spirituality is not this thing out there that sometimes we deal with, but spirituality is the very essence of what will make me know what is this woman now named Baina Bello supposed to be doing in 2021. Functionality is key to spirituality. If you don't know what you are here for, I don't care what form of religiosity or spirituality or whatever it is you claim to, without a function, a clear idea of what is your mission, what is it you're supposed to accomplish. Some of us come here only to say hi to the sun. When you hear that a woman delivered a baby and an hour later, with absolutely no sickness, no nothing, the child just is no longer alive. And we say, oh my goodness, this is terrible. But we don't know what the mission of this child was. Maybe
Mm,
this child just came in to say, oh, so that's what the sun looks like. Aha. Okay, fine. I go back. I go to my eternal life. I return to my eternal life. Because my mission on the finite life was simply to come and look and see what sun looks like, or what is the birth canal is look like, what is being born is like. We don't know. So until we do the work on ourselves to know who we are in depth, not who we are, I'm the daughter of the son of, no, 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 but to know who we are, which means essentially, what did I come here for? Once we have that lined up, we clear, I came here to, then I make easy choices in my life. My grandmother used to tell me how when I was 3, I always had a school. Everybody went to school except me, but I had my school at home. And my school, if I had dolls, then the dolls would be my students. No dolls, then I pick up everybody's shoes in the house and make a big school, different classes. But I had never been to a school. No, when grandma spanked me and said, no, 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 don't you mess up the shoes, leave the shoes where they are, blah, blah. Then I'd go out in the yard and I'd pick up stones and sticks and make my school. So I was forever creating a school. So I came to understand eventually that my primary mission is to transmit information. No matter where I go,
Mm-hmm.
I always find a way. One time I had this fancy title in the phone company at home. I was chief something something. And when I made my plan, the first thing I asked no, in fact, before the contract, I asked the director, would he accept that I train the employees? And once he said yes, that's the reason. Even though this job was paying less money than two other possibilities, but that's the one I took because I could teach there. So
Yes, yes.
once you're clear on what it is you have to do, what it is you've come here to do, it's not have to, it's just this is who you are.
Right.
Okay. So no matter where, that's what we end up doing. So spirituality is the vehicle that enables us to know who we are, that enables us to understand the proper direction, the proper um, position to things. Uh, it and once you are on your spiritual journey, there is no fear. You don't
That's right.
worry about how you're gonna do it. There's no money. How you're gonna pay the rent. You don't worry about those things. You just know you have to do what you have to do, and you will deal with everything as it comes up. But you don't have this fretting thing where, oh my goodness, blah, 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 blah. No, you just do what you got to do because spiritually, somewhere you know that you are here to do this, therefore, you must make it happen.
Right. Right. Yes. I hope you guys are taking notes. I'm taking notes. I mean, when I have a guest on Tuesday Talk, you're going to learn something. So if you see me taking notes, it's because I am getting my answers down. So thank you for that explanation. Spirituality is not separate from us and outside like a building down the street. And it's the vehicle for us to know what it is that we have to do. So my next question for you is has a couple different parts to it. Can you explain to us? Well, first, can you give us the correct or the most authentic or the best pronunciation of Vodou? Is it Vodou? Is it Voodoo? Vodou? And then, can you explain to us what it is?
It is voodoo.
Vodou.
Whether we put a N at the end or not, the N is silent, just like in
Oh.
many words you have, it's not for pronouncing an N, but it's the that you have.
Oh. Okay. So it's like a Haitian. It's a Haitian sound.
Um, I would say it's a font, actually.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Fun sound.
You know, of course,
Vodou.
we have inherited much of our vocabulary is from the font, in various African language, but font is the syntax of our language, and it also gives us a large vocabulary. So, Vodou is what we, if we were to take the time to pronounce it properly, that's what we would say.
Okay.
Um, I'm sorry. So the question was,
Oh, to give us a correct pronunciation. So I'm glad we had that history behind it. I don't know why I couldn't figure that out. I knew that a lot of the some of the rituals and spirituality came from the fawn. See, I was saying fawn wrong. So that's why I didn't kind of get that. So Vaudron, is that closer
Mhm,
to it? Okay,
mhm.
great. So that was the first part of the question, and the second part was to explain to us what Vaudron is.
Okay. So essentially, as all African spirituality is based on your life structure in connection to your greater self. Like in Voodoo, we say, for example, there is the small angel in us, there is a small angel and the big angel. The small angel determines your character, how you behave, how you talk, you laugh aloud, you're the, boisterous person, blah, blah, blah. This is your small angel that defines the ways that you are. But your big angel connects you to the sun, to the moon, to the entire cosmos. And it feeds you everything that you need. So you can, because the objective in Vodou is to build good character. So I may find myself someone who's naturally loud, boisterous, this, and I see that it's not very, my environment, my immediate environment is uncomfortable. My children don't feel good when I'm shouting all the time. So in observing this, then I could say to Baina, hey, listen, there's other ways of being. So tap into your big angel and let's put some water here. If there's too much salt, let's diminish the salt. Too much fire, let's lower the fire. Let's find the right temperature, the right volume, the right mannerism that will make your children comfortable in their own home. We see sometimes children in a home, soon as mom comes in, everybody feels, stressed out, and we know we're going to be scolded. We know this is not, but the mom does not realize this is what's happening. So if she's conscious and if she's in Vodou, then she knows she must improve that situation. A relationship with others is vital. And when I mean others, we don't just mean people. Relationship with the plants, with the trees, with the earth, with the rain, with the sun. All of this is our family. And from it all, we can learn and we can access the means to grow and each day become better than we were the day before. So that's what Vodou is all about. That's why we have songs like Feuille nan bois si posé, feuille nan bois si posé, l'ennemi barré moi, feuille nan bois wa sauver moi. The song says, you leaf on the tree. Let us suppose the enemy was about to catch up with me. Let us suppose they were about to get me. Oh, leaf on the tree, I expect you to save me. See how we are, this type of song was sung like during the revolution. So we're not talking about hypothetical enemies.
Right. We got real ones.
We're talking about people with guns and cannons after us. And we're counting on the leaf, not even the tree, on the leaf on the tree to save us. What would that look like literally? Literally, I'm running, I'm hiding. All it takes, and the enemy is coming, all it takes is one leaf to fall off the tree in the wrong direction. If the leaf falls up that way and I'm hiding here, then the enemy will go over here thinking that's me walking. But if the leaf falls where I am, I will be caught. So my relationship with every form of life has to be cultivated so that I can count on all of them in whatever situation I need. So that's why some people Vodou seems so complicated. And some people want to reduce it to its minimal form. But the reality is, if I'm serious about learning and living Vodou, I must develop a relationship with all forms of life. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I put
It's
this.
live. That's what happens. It's okay.
Okay.
Take your time.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
So that's how, when you are involved in Vodou, everything matters. There is nothing that you know, what kind of moon. For example, last night, a fabulous moon eclipse. Well, those of us who knew that this was the best time for you to wish for or call on important things in your life. So it was a great moment, and a lot of us wasted it. We were not, or we were totally ignorant of it. We don't pay attention to the moon. We don't pay attention to the sun. We don't pay attention to all that is vital to our life. And that's what in Vodou you learn to pay attention to everything. Is it a windy day? Is it a rainy day? Rainy days are good for doing this, and that. Windy days are great for doing this, and that. Sunshiny days are great for this, and that. But most of us go through a, oh, it's sunshine, it's great, I'm happy. Oh, it's rainy, that's horrible, it's an ugly day. I'm sorry, there's no such thing.
I agree.
All life form have a reason for being. They have a purpose. And if you can know their purpose and align your purpose, you can get where you got to go faster. Earthquakes are not disasters. They are different life forms. And they are very regular. They have a schedule, they have a calendar. But humans are not educated today to know about earthquakes enough so we can prepare. Floods have life. It's a life form. If you decide you're going to build your house in the bed of a river, so you build your house and I come next to you, I build my house and the other one build their house. Well, it's ignorance in our parts, because even if the river stay away from her bed 1,000 years, guess what? She's coming.
Right.
She's coming back to her bed. It's her bed.
With her bed.
And when she returns, she does what she knows how to do. She flows and brush away, flows and brush away. Hey, if your bed is in her bed, guess what happens to your bed?
Right.
Okay? So people, oh my goodness, look at this, a flood. Oh, I lost everything. Did you know that city was built in riverbed? You're supposed to be intellectual. You're supposed to know.
You're supposed to know.
You went to the university. You're supposed to know about the universe. So what's your problem? So that's what Voodoo is all about. It gives us the tools to connect to all the life forms with the purpose of improving ourselves every day. We
Mm.
have no regrets. We have no, oh my goodness, I'm a sinner. I did, da, 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 da. No, I did this yesterday. That wasn't the best way. So
Right.
today, Baina will be this way. And tomorrow, she'll be even better.
And tomorrow will be even better. Yes.
No
Yeah.
guilt tripping.
Yes. I love your explanation, especially when you mentioned the riverbed and how it flows, and made me think of a couple of things. How there are typically wildfires in California, and all of the celebrities build their homes in that space, and then like off the mountain, and their house fall off the mountain, and instead of recognizing the fact that nature is reigns supreme using their paradigm, because everything is about dominance, instead of just acknowledging that and going someplace else, that we're going to rebuild. Well, you're going to be doing this again next year.
All right, go ahead. Or whichever, everything has a schedule. It's every 7 years, or every 21 years, or every 33 years. I don't know. But everything has a schedule.
Everything has a schedule.
So, and that is why Austria is so important. If something happens, the first thing I need to know is check out the Austria of this particular event. And if I look back, when was the last time this happened? Oh, 14 years ago. And how about before that? When did this happen? Ah, 14 years prior. Uh-huh. How about before? So then I can establish every 14 years, this particular thing happens here. So I have to decide whether I'm going to rebuild so that 14 years down the road, I face the same situation again.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
And here, Kemet gave the world beautiful example. The Nile flooded every year,
That's right.
and more than nearly half of the nation was under flood. Well, how come we don't have any records showing 100,000 people died, 50,000 people died in the flood, blah, 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 blah. Cities were destroyed. Hmm, I suppose, and I'm sure that our people then were intelligent. We went to real universities who taught us knowledge that connects us to the universe. So then that is why our people would know when they see Sirius line up a certain way, this constellation and that means the flooding is for next week. So we move away. The flooding is for next month. Here is what's the next step. We knew what to do. So we stepped out of the way of the flood waters and we did other things in those spaces that would not be flooded. We did research, we did analysis, we did all kind of things that needed to be done. Study more, understand the skies better, understand the connect between sky and earth better. So we worked at these things. And after the 3 months of flooding, the water starts to subside. And when the soil is just wet enough, we come back down and we throw the seeds of the things we need planted. So we didn't have to worry about watering the soil because the flood did that job for us. And since we synchronize our actions, we didn't see the flood as a disaster, as a catastrophe. They have all these big words. No, it's just what Mother Nature does. And she is queen. So when she has done her work, I come in and add my work to her work in synchronicity. And that's what made the power of Kemet. Spirituality was not separate from knowledge, from science,
That's
from
right.
our street. It's all one. We read so many times in documents how this particular architect, when he was going to build this pyramid or whatever, he would go and sleep on the soil in order
Mm.
to know what's the best position, what's the best this or the best that. Then he would use the calculations. So the spirituality guided all the work that we are admiring today was not done from pure science. No, it was made from A, the spirituality, the knowledge of Ubuntu. We are one. So if I'm going to build something on this earth, I got to find out that the earth is willing to accept it.
Mm.
I
Mm-hmm.
have to know that the soil that I'm going to plant this on will support it and protect it. I have to agree to put it in certain position so the sun does what she has to do. When the wind comes, he does what he has to do. Where I have to place this, that, in what position, that will ensure that the structure will last for eternity. Because the structure is not created for my whim. I want it this way. I want it this high. I wanted this tall. No. But from my spiritual knowledge and my spiritual connection with the entire environment, everybody participated and we agreed to place this here and everyone will take care of it. So that's why you have buildings that stands 3,000, 4,000 years.
Mm. The way you say things is so beautiful and just filled with so much information. Sometimes I don't even know what to say next after you speak. It's like trying to perform after Prince has a concert and then it's my turn. But in my humble summary of what you were saying, we as African people, we were in one with nature because we understood we were a part of nature. And so instead of trying to control it or pretend like we don't see what's happening, we were one with nature. We understood that this was cyclical, and we said, okay, since this is cyclical, this what are we supposed to be doing? That is synchronized with what is already happening, because instead of trying to dominate everything alive, we understood that we are a live being, just like the flood, just like here in the Northeast, just like the snow. I always loved the rain, always. I was born and raised in Connecticut, and I would go to Virginia, in Norfolk, Virginia, in the summer times. And so sometimes they either had a hurricane or they had like a mild hurricane that I never saw because I live in the Northeast. And so I remember being at my aunt's house and watching the trees sway, like a serious sway. And the rain was coming down so hard. It was beating on the house. And I was the only one sitting and watching it. And I thought it was so amazing. I can see it in my head right now. It was so beautiful to me. And when I hear people say, oh, it's going to be rainy, I'm like, I love the rain. We need the rain for our crops and food. Don't you want to eat? The animals need it. How can you not like a natural part of like precipitation? We need this.
A
So,
natural part of yourself
mm,
and a greater part of yourself. Okay. You see, you said you saw the trees swaying. I say, I saw the trees dancing.
mm, the trees were dancing. Oh, thank you. That made that. Now I get to add that part too to my childhood memory. Okay. So my next question is kind of a multi-layered kind of a question. I think at this point, with people who follow Tuesday Talk or the Shrine of Ma'at or any African spiritual source, and also everything that you've given us so far today, we understand some foundations about how African people connected with ourselves, our inner selves, nature, the divine, and how all of those different, we look at them as different components because a lot of us have been trained from a European perspective, but really they're just all one. So my question is, in comparing, what are some of the similarities with the African spiritual iteration of Kemetic spirituality, the African spirit iteration of Vodou, and also the concept of Ma'at in both? What are the similarities and some of the differences that our people recreated?
In everything that is essential, there are no differences.
Mm. I love that.
Essence, like when we say that life is exists for purpose with a purpose, throughout all we'll find the same thing. Everything has purpose. And that's why in IT, for example, of greeting what greeting is, though some of us don't use it anymore, but the way we greet traditionally is honor. I come to you to your home, then I will say honor, and you will respond respect. So which meant I come to you with honor. You welcome me with respect. So, honor and respect being the key words in all functioning of every life form. If I have no respect for you, I cannot honor you. If you have no honor, you cannot respect me. So, all life form have this understanding about functioning with each other. If we look at the Arawaks, and to a large degree, more the older traditions in Africa, we never built cages for any animal, even the animals that we use on a regular basis. We didn't put them in cage. We didn't tie them up. Even if the Arawak army needed 10,000 horses to go to battle, they negotiated with the horses. And that's why they would ride the horse with nothing on his back, no rope to direct it. And me, the warrior, my chest would be undressed so that with my contact, my body on the back of the horse, that's how I direct the horse
Mm,
to
mm.
whichever position I wanted to do. And communication also, you would say things to whatever animals you're dealing with. So all this to say that oneness of nature is expressed in 1,000 different ways, but you will find it in all of our various expressions. We have different expressions of the African spirituality. African spirituality is about knowledge of self connected to all of nature. I am Baina in the body sitting here, but I am Baina, sunshine, helping everybody but to see. I am Baina, the rain falling on us. I am the snow. So if I don't see all of this as different expressions of myself, then I will have no respect for a lot of things.
Mm,
I will
mm.
be handpicking, and that's when from disrespecting sun, moon, earth, soil, disrespecting this group of people, enslaving that group of people, slaughtering that group of people, producing opium to put to sleep millions of other groups of people. That is not our way.
That's not our way.
And our spiritual way is the oneness of life. Until we can undo so much of the division that is created through school, through primary, secondary, university schools. School after the church, who's the biggest of all
Mm,
criminals,
you ain't
the
lying.
school is number two because it's a tool created by them to
Mm,
promote what we have to understand that. So, once you understand that African spirituality, even when we're saying African, we're still talking wrongly. But for now, we'll let it go. So, African spirituality is the oneness of life. And of all life, you need to know. When you know, you can love. If you don't know, you cannot love. Even self, if I don't try to know Baina, understand Baina, I cannot claim to love her. And it is because we suffer from a lack of knowledge of self, both historical and actual. We don't know what our present is really, and we ignore, and it's connected also. If I don't know the past, I cannot properly evaluate the present. So it's a must. So African spirituality, in its oneness, in its synchronicity, with the entire cosmos. That's what we all have in common. Now, the various expressions, languages, traditions, availability, all of that will give you apparent differences. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, for example, there is a medicine that we make in Haiti with mango, and we go to somewhere in Africa where they don't have mangoes, and we find that they make a medicine against the same illness. We will find that it's with something that is the color of mango, that has some relationship, some way to mango. We will find if we look carefully. But if we want to just, if we're only operating from conditioning, from your Christian instructions, we'll say, oh no, see, it's different.
Euro
IT uses mango, and this group uses blah, blah, blah. They have nothing in common.
Christian instructions. That's my new expression because that's really what it is. Euro Christian instructions. The school coming from the church, giving us an incredible, vast array of divisions and how to separate everything and everybody out of nature. If you hear me saying it, if you come across something you happen to, and I say Euro Christian, his instructions, it's coming right from you and from this because it makes it clear, what the foundation is of like the Western and American like general thought, process is. So with how divisive that can be, can you give us a bit of an in-depth or description of how Ma'at is seen in Vodou?
Okay. Everything, we know that everything is about purpose. Purpose means you have an objective to reach. So does the mosquito. So does the ant. So does the palm tree. So does the land. So all of you here each have a, um, a mission, but at the same time, each of these missions contribute to the higher mission of the entire time space. I don't know if understand. Okay, let's take the end, something simple, the hand. All right, each finger has its own mission. I can't clean my ear with my thumb, impossible, but I might be able to do it with my little finger.
Right.
So each finger have things they can do and things they cannot do. But together, the five fingers, if we are under attack in particular, but even for other purposes, for holding things, for carrying, for whatever, all five come together in that one objective of carrying this thing safely to wherever it's going. So the same thing is true for us. Everything that is around you contributes to you. So that's the balance of life. And since we're talking about ma'at, the number one element, demonstration in our lives of ma'at is this: breathing. You give out as much as you took in. You have no choice. It has to be balanced. You drink, you eat, you must go give back. It's a must. So, this is the biological expression of ma'at.
Mm-hmm.
What is disease? All right. Baina decides she does not like this idea of sharing, sharing, sharing. So I'm going to take my oxygen and I'm not giving back no carbon dioxide. Well, if she continues, she will kill herself because no balance, no sharing, I will self destroy. And that's the same thing with everything. You want it all, you grab what belongs to others, Ma'at will just operate. It doesn't have to be that some God somewhere has to turn around and say, oh, Sister Abut did not give the right amount of blah, blah, blah. No. The Ma'at, the balance in nature is structured and it's automatic.
It's automatic.
So, us as people, we want to line up with Ma'at. So the things that we choose to do, we make sure they are balanced. You working for me. I earn 10,000 a month. So we agreed that I would pay you 700. I get a promotion. I now earn 50,000 a month. What am I going to do?
I should get 3,500 a month.
All right. I don't know about 3,500. That's a little bit. That's more than 2/3 of my salary. I don't think so. But definitely, you should get an increase. I got an increase in salary. You should get an increase in salary. If I am functioning in the way of Ma'at,
That's right.
I will worry that I cannot keep you with the same salary I was when I was having. I have 5 times more than before. Oh, you are right. It is 3,500. I'm sorry. You're good. Okay. Yes. So 5 times more. Yes, 5 times more would be 3,500. That's correct. So, yes, ma'am. That would be the natural way of doing things. Okay. We are living in a society where we are earning 10 cents an hour in a company that announced $20 billion profit every year.
Ridiculous.
So we are living in a society where the domineering white supremacist group feel that the gold in Haiti belongs to them, the diamond in Haiti belongs to them, the uridium in Haiti belongs to them, whatever else Haiti has belongs to them, and then they want to come as the great humanitarians to help poor Haiti.
Right.
And we recite that. We repeat it all the time. Haitians do, and all other Pan Africanists do. Because we're disconnected with our own spiritual ways. Our spiritual way is forever to aim for Ma'at.
Mm.
Forever in whatever it is. Even in speaking about people who have done us wrong, I am duty bound to measure my language
Mm.
and never overstep my bounds against somebody who's been doing wrong all along. I still have that duty until we go strictly to war. We go to war, now it's a different story. I should do whatever is necessary. That's when justice is. Justice is by any means necessary,
Right.
right the wrong.
That's right.
That's Ma'at. So some of us think, oh, Ma'at, I can't. No, 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 no. You don't know what element of Ma'at when, for example, the earthquake comes or the flooding comes. I remember in 2004, I believe, we had a hurricane. And that hurricane was so powerful, it created a new lake in a
Mm.
place called Desolate Savannah, a place where nothing grew, barely cactus. Well, The hurricane came, and after the hurricane, that place had a lake. And then some Cubans came to help in Haiti, and they suggested that we put fish eggs in the lake. And sure enough, a few months later, lots of Haitians were fishing in desolate savannah. So you see how Mother Nature works? You had a hurricane. We all say, oh, horrible, horrible, blah, blah. But look attentively what happens after the hurricane. The same was true with Hurricane Andrews, which was a horrible thing. But less than 3 months later, there was so much growth of everything in that area. So do not be stuck in other people's perception. Get back into your own. That's the real spirituality. Once you start thinking that all of nature is your family, the hurricane comes, wonderful. We welcome you and let us see what you brought for us. Because everything in life does. Yeah, the hurricane takes, that's true, but the hurricane gives. And in a proper understanding, people will have better ways of dealing with hurricanes, with all the different elements of nature. If we understand them better, if we study them better, if we learn to know their calendars and know what they bring after they go,
Mm,
after they take, and then we will live without fears with all of them. And we'll make better choices as to where to build excuse me, where to build cities. Because a lot of cities are built in places that should not be.
right.
Okay. Part of the problem is all the colonial cities in Haiti, the colonists came with the intent to grab, steal, rape, and give nothing back. That's the whole mental structure of someone who creates slavery.
It's right.
All right. So they build all those cities right on the sea. And in many cases, the cities are below sea level. So, of course, that's why we're going to have disaster when a hurricane goes back. We're going to have all kinds of problems because those are not places for cities. And right now, with the Euro Christian conditioning of our people's mind, if someone wants to come and say, oh, you know what, the city of Lekai is not properly established, the city of Gonaive is in the wrong position. We're going to place Gonaive on this. We're going to build a new city of Gonaive and we're going to let this thing go because this creates so many deaths every so many years. If you said that, you know how many people would be against you? Because they do not have the proper spiritual understanding of life.
Mm,
So Ma'at for us, the loi, which is in the way of Ma'at for Haiti, is Aizan.
Aizon.
Yes, Ayizan.
A-Y.
Ayizan.
And Aizon.
Aizan. Mhm.
Aizon. Oh, that's
Mhm.
right, because the N you don't say. Okay. Aizon.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. I wrote that down phonetically.
Good.
Aizon.
Mhm. Right.
Okay. I
So,
know. Oh, go ahead, please. Mhm.
yeah. No, that's Ma'at. It's all part of life. Even okay, let me say this. People sometimes talk about, oh yeah, but you kill animals. Oh, animal is a life form, yes. But you kill tomatoes. You kill rice. You kill lettuce. Everything we put in our mouth is a life form. So don't talk to me about you kill animals. We whatever we're going to put in our mouth, we kill it, we cook it, and we eat it. All humans do. Now, the big difference for us, for example, when we in Vodou, when we're gonna kill a pigeon or any form, any life form, A, we ask permission. B, we give them a number of things, like for example, you bathe the animal, you it perfumes and powdered, and the animal is treated in very special ways. So we earn the right to take that life form, to maintain certain elements in our life form. It's a trade-off that we do. Even with a leaf. When I'm gonna make some tea, I don't go in the yard and grab some leaf and put it in the hot water. No. I go to the tree or the branch or the bruise, whatever it is. I talk to them. I say to the basil leaf, the basil plant, please allow me to take some of your life so I may protect the life that I've been entrusted with. I have a headache, and I know that drinking the tea of your leaves will make my headache go away. So please allow me to. So there is a communication, and we agree to exchange. And sometimes the plant might even say, okay, fine, you can take it, but I want more water. I want you to water me in the morning. If you develop your abilities enough, you will clearly hear the plant's demands because they do sometimes demand.
Thank you for that explanation. I've heard people, there are different schools of thoughts on if we should eat meat and should not eat meat. And I know I've had my own back and forth with if we should or should not eat meat. And for me, I always say, okay, well, what did my ancestors do? Like, am I able to find this information? What did my ancestors do? So, you can see that there were sacrifices or I'm sorry, offerings of meat that were given to, some of the kings and queens. So if you have meat, meat is really an animal that has been sacrificed for that offering. And so we also know that when we give offerings to our ancestral offerings, etc., that we, the people who prepared those offerings, actually do the eating, because we understand it's ceremony, and we don't think the spirit is going to come back in the physical form and eat the food. So I said to myself, I see it right there. I was in Kemet. I'm like, that's like a cow leg right there. So if our ancestors did that, then that is something that we should do or can do, because when we're pre-colonial, when we're in balance, the way that we were, if this is what our ancestors did, this is what we do. But your explanation added that other layer to it, the ma'at component to it. You're taking this life, what are you giving back, to make sure that we understand when you're eating something, it's alive. I have a garden, and when I first started gardening, I got a garden plot, where I live, and it was in the middle of the season, and I was talking to my mom about it, and she's like, if you just put it in the dirt, something's gonna come up. Just put it in the dirt. It's gonna have some rain, and it's gonna come up. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, how am I overthinking gardening? If there's soil and water, the sun, put it in, food comes up. And so, you give it the care it needs, and you have this beautiful bounty. When you snip, like, let's say, lettuce at the base, you can see that it starts to die right where the edge is. And so you are stopping the life force or not really the life force, because you get that when you consume it, but you are stopping it in the physical form. I think it's so amazing and helpful that you've given us a way to instructions really on how to give life back to that plant, so that we can always be in ma'at. So usually our Tuesday talks go for a long, long time, but we have to wrap up. And if I can ask you one more question, and you kind of already answered this, how can you just give us one or two very practical, tangible pieces of advice that we should use so that we can get our African minds back, and while we're living in this Western European society?
Uh, the very first thing is to admit you are not you.
Mm. Put this on slow.
It's hard, but it's key. Until the day I could say to Baina, but hey, listen, girl, this woman here is not you. You speak French, you aspire to everything French, you dress French, you forever promoting French this and French that. Something wrong there, child. You're an Asian woman. What's, hey, okay. So first is to admit it to self. Say, How many times during the day when you have a quote, the person you're quoting looks like you? Check it out. Recently, somebody asked me, uh, "Can can you be in Pan African Women and be a good Christian?" I said, "I'm sorry. Those two things just don't mix."
Period.
All right. When you're in Pan Africanism, the only thing you want as a spiritual is the inner spiritual um, premise. That's what you want to rise in you. That's what will make you feel. Whether when I'm in Togo, I'm a Togolese. When I'm in Benin, I'm a Beninoise. When I'm in Haiti, I'm Haitian, because all of it is one. So if I'm going to be a Christian, I'm going to be against Muslims. I'm going to be against Vodou. I'm going to be, except somewhere deep, deep, deep beyond my brain, that I have to be against in order to be. That is the very structure of the Euro Christian system. So once you adapt to that, then that's what you do. So when you question, admit that you're not you, then you start questioning, why am I not me? How do I become me? Why this? How that? What this? Question everything. Why am I dressed this way? Why did I choose to wear this color today? Etc. etc. Questioning will make you aware. It will build awareness, consciousness, and courage. That's why you must question what you do. Not question why Baina did it. Question you. Baina has to question Baina. So as you question yourself and identify why you do what you do, then you have the power, you'll have the courage to stop doing certain things. And
Mm.
as you eliminate their stuff in you, your natural strength and power will rise and take place. But number one, you got to eliminate the garbage. Without that, you can pretend to be Pan Africanist. You can pretend to be in the African spirituality. It makes no difference if you say Vodou or Kemet or whatever, same thing. If I'm all about following fashion and being in fashion with this and that and the other, and then I say I'm Vodou, there's a little problem there. I haven't really made the choices yet. So eliminate so you can make space for your
Mm.
true self to rise. Eliminate the enemy in you. Have a revolution, not the gun and knife revolution. There's an inner revolution to be had. To go inside you, and everywhere you find your enemy, get rid of it. As you clean up that space, you will be surprised how much of your natural ancestors' knowledge will rise in you.
Mm. I feel like screaming, but I'm not going to. That was that hit that hit my soul in a really special place. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope that you absorb everything that we just got here. We were given instructions along the way, very pointed instructions. This will air again on Tuesday. Today's the 19, 20, 21, 22. This will air on November 23rd. Watch it again, take notes, and apply what you've learned. Get rid of the oppressor that's inside of us. Make space for yourself, and let our African spiritual, our ancestors, guide what it is that we do. Okay? That's our homework. That's what everybody has to do. That's what I know I'm doing it. We all have to do that. Okay? So, everyone, Shem and Matep, go forth in peace. And uh, Mama Bello, thank you so much for imparting all of your ancestral wisdom that you embody, and just and giving us this as we continue our day, continue our week, and continue on in our way back to our ancestral ways.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. All of you, please stay healthy, become wealthy, and rise to our collective power. Thank you.
Thank you.